They're all done now.
Yeah, all gigs are over. Probably
Oh, yeah?
stupid fucking football ones.
Modesty cancelled, didn't he?
Yeah, but I think he'll rearrange.
Is that because he's just now accepted that people think he's a cunt?
Well, I think the anti-racism thing was apparently went on the party down on one of the locks. Might have persuaded him. But he cancelled a few others, like one in Sweden as well.
Yeah, some of them
There's
abroad.
a bit of protest, I think also they call it logistics, but there's some discussion about that.
Yeah.
A euphemism for ticket sales.
Yeah. Well, our favourite regular Ralph says that he's not lived in the UK for 30 years, he's not lived in Manchester for 35 years, so fuck him. That's what he says.
That's another deep point.
Alright, I'm ready when you lot are.
Probably known in Liverpool it's that way about Paul McCartney. So.
Welcome back to the Collapsing Pocket podcast, brought to you by Royal Flush Designs. And you know what? It's just too hot to even think of a clever opening to the show today. So I'm just going to say, I'm Rob Wood, you can call me Woody. I'm joined by, we've got to do the way around this time, why not? I'm joined by Sam Aykroyd. No funny comment before your name this time, Sam.
Yeah, let's keep it that way.
Not needed.
Yeah, just not the energy, mate. Just drained.
Oh, well, this is a fun
Done in.
podcast, isn't it?
Done in.
I think it's the first day when it's sort of broken a little bit today, so it's not been nearly as
Earlier,
bad.
yesterday was a bit cooler because there's cloud cover, but earlier today was roasting out.
Muggy is what it is.
And then when I
out
stepped
there,
out to get the bus later, it was a bit cool.
Exactly.
The voice you just heard then was Simon Carroll. How are you, Si?
Not too bad, mate, not too bad.
You-
all the better for being here with you guys.
Oh, hey.
How else do you want to spend your Tuesday night?
Well, exactly right. Or indeed any day or time of the week in the ears of our dear listeners. But this is Tuesday night in Manchester for us. Si, you had fun on Sunday, didn't you? England had fun on Saturday. The England fans had fun on Saturday night in the toilet in our Si's pub. And Si had fun Sunday cleaning up, didn't you, mate?
I had to clean up some shit. It was on Monday I had to clean up. didn't I?
Quite literally had to clean up some shit.
Quite awful, yeah. A toilet that would put Train Spotting to shame, I'd say.
Woof, there you go. But Sam, doesn't matter, it's coming home.
It is coming.
Yeah, it's all worth it, isn't it? Getting rubber gloves on that don't reach high enough, so you have to clean film your whole arm up to your shoulder.
Like when those guys have had tattoos and they walk around with clean film.
Yeah,
on,
something
just
like
that,
that. Just like that, mate.
Oh, and how long are we talking?
How long what?
How long was the rescue job? Was it as long
It
as
took
the
me an hour.
Thai
It took me an
football
hour
boys?
to clean it. So yeah, pretty much the
Okay.
same.
There's only two more games left.
I like how you compared cleaning shit out of the toilet to the rescue of the Thai kids.
That was the first thing that came into my mind, so, you know, I told you it's tired, the heat is finally getting to me, Sam.
So that story's been stressing me out. If you don't like tight spaces and stuff.
I know, yeah,
Jesus
38
Christ.
centimetres he got to at one point, isn't that?
38 centimetres.
Not too dissimilar to the size of the poos that was cleaning out the toilet, so there you go.
There we go, bringing it round full cycle. Lovely stuff.
I feel a bit sick now after all that.
There we go. So should we move quickly on, Sam, to talking about what we're going to be talking about on today's podcast. We are going to look at the news as ever. A few items in there. What are you giggling at?
It really is high, isn't it?
Yeah.
Talking about what we're going to be talking
Yeah,
about.
I was there going, what's another word for talking? I can't be asked. It's going to be the theme. It's going to be the theme. We're going to overview, how about that, Sam? We're going to overview the last couple of weeks in the NFL world with some very, very breaking news that hit us about an hour ago. We're also going to look at our weekly feature, which is, we're going to revisit some old ground, aren't we, Si? And you've been doing some research on this. We're going to rank our quarterbacks, top 10
power rankings, isn't it?
quarterback power rankings, the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. We're going to talk about the methods we use to break that down. And Si has dug out our list from last year, and we're all hanging our heads in shame on some of those, aren't we?
We've got number one, right?
Some more than others, though, Sam.
No?
Well, you should be. Eli Manning at 7th.
Yeah, interesting.
He was the 7th best quarterback in your eyes last year.
Number 5.
He's got a Super Bowl ring, so... Oh, he's got
Two?
got two.
Got
So
two
he's
Super Bowl rings.
Stuff that down.
Number-
Did he get him last year?
Number 5 there for Sam last year, Sam Bradford.
Yeah, stand by that.
Well, in fairness, he had a cracking game week 1 last year against the Saints, didn't he?
He absolutely thrashed him.
That was about it. But
He did. But we all had Derek Coe in the top 5 as well, which we can safely say we're not
Really
going to
shouldn't
have.
be bragging about it anyway. Let's see what disasters we plan this year on that one. Oh, right, well, about an hour before we started recording this podcast, some pretty grim news coming in here from the NFL. From a man not unfamiliar with controversial headlines, it is Shady McCoy. Well, basically, this is what's happened. A friend of his wife, Delicia Corden, posted a photograph on Instagram of Shady's wife, beaten badly. I won't read out the entire Instagram post.
Go and find yourself, guys.
Put up there, but it's pretty harrowing. The gist of it, accusing McCoy, you're an animal, you're beating your wife, you beat your dog into kidney failure, you beat your son for wetting the bed. We've all kept quiet about your illegal steroid use, but we're not going to keep quiet about this anymore. LaShawn McCoy responded denying all allegations on Instagram, and the Buffalo Bills haven't released a statement saying that they are questioning LaShawn McCoy and looking into this further. It wouldn't be the first time, Si, that McCoy's been involved in something perhaps not as severe as this, but
He's a distasteful young man, isn't he? I like it how Instagram's the new Judge Judy, isn't it really? That's the way we do things
right,
nowadays.
there's nothing wrong with the old one, to be honest, but there you go.
Try by
Judge Judy, I mean.
Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I liked it.
He's always been a bit distasteful, hasn't he? Really setting up parties with throwing parties with naked women there and things like that. Was one of them, wasn't
Didn't he accuse Chip Kelly of being racist?
Yeah. That was the other one.
So he transferred, well, not transferred out, he didn't do that today, but released some players.
And
Was
he.
racist?
Well, I think the allegation was based on the fact that Chip Kelly released some black players from the team.
They got rid of Jeremy Macklin and LaShawn McCoy in the same off-season.
Yeah.
The two. And Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson,
as well. Within relatively similar sort of space of time, so he was racist as far as LaShawn McCoy was concerned. He was in a nightclub and attacked two off-duty police officers.
There was an incident in 2013.
Well, alleged, he said that didn't happen. He was just helping out over a theft of a bottle of champagne.
Yeah. Incident in New Jersey in 2013, where he was. Hang on, let me just research this. Carry on as you
I
were.
don't know that one, sorry, but ultimately he's just a shithouse, isn't he? Let's be honest. And I'm not saying he definitely did this because Rob said I can't, but I am 100% saying that I think he definitely did do it.
So what we must say is that the views there are Simon Cowell's alone and not the collapsing pockets.
You don't think he did it?
Well, I don't think I'm in a legal position to say whether I think he did it or not. To be honest,
I think you can say whether you think he did.
I mean,
there's a really shocking image that goes with that Instagram post.
Yeah, there
I'm not
absolutely is.
saying
There
that.
absolutely is, and yeah, I mean, there's no smoke without fire. He's done this before. I wouldn't be surprised. We don't know. We can't say anything until obviously the Bills investigate further, the league investigates further, and I would suggest the police investigate this one further.
Hope so.
The incident I was referring to, in 2013, McCoy was sued for actions towards a woman using the alias Mary Rowe aboard a party bus on the New Jersey Turnpike. Rowe testified that McCoy humiliated her and 15 other women by spraying them with a beverage before ejecting Rowe from the vehicle. Rowe sued for over $50,000 in damages for assault and battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, false imprisonment, and negligence.
So he's making,
piece of work.
He's making Zeke Elliott look like child's play, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's just, Zeke had one off season of debauchery, and LaShawn McCoy's been making a career out of it, basically.
Well, give Zeke.
Let's get rid of him.
He's still young.
If it's true, Sam, he's done, isn't he?
He would certainly hope so.
He's gone.
Again, you always think just because he's at the end of the career anyway, where it's very easy to cut.
He's still producing, but
Well, that's the thing, isn't
he's
it?
done. Ray Rice wasn't producing, I don't suppose, but he's never had a sniff.
Yeah.
And I thought he would get at least a sniff of something.
He's
you know,
not,
as
has he? No, in fairness,
not a goddamn
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
If any of this sticks, that we won't see LaShawn McCoy
As
suit.
for that, I'd say he should be done, and that's
He
it.
should be allowed, yeah.
But double it with the fact that he's not of an ability, of an importance to the team that anyone would think will take the flak for having him in the team now.
It's over.
Done.
If he's guilty.
If he's guilty, and we of
Yeah,
course wait to see the results of that one. We wouldn't be surprised here, of course. There we go. Well, more police-related stories. Do you want to tell us about how Cardinals general manager Steve Keim enjoyed his Independence Day?
I don't really know, I just know he enjoyed it too much and he drove home and then he got busted for it, so that's him in trouble.
Busted for it, he certainly was. He was arrested on July the 4th in Chandler, Arizona. Officers said Keim had been driving erratically, had the smell of alcohol in his breath and exhibited slurred speech. He failed, Sam, on the several sobriety tests. Do you know what the sobriety tests were that he failed on?
Well, I've seen quite a few of these on the old police camera action stuff. With,
okay.
I can't remember that guy's name.
Go on.
The old cop that used to wheel outfit.
Was he a celebrity, the lead cop on police camera action?
I think it was by the end of it.
Was he?
He was also the same guy, didn't he? The big shock of grey hair.
Buffon, grey hair with a bright orange face and really, I don't know, punctuated way of talking, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So minor celebrities from shitty TV shows, kind of like
Dom Littlewood from Don't Get Done, Get Done.
Yeah. Or,
yeah.
Or John Anderson, was it the referee from Gladiators?
Yeah.
Something like that kind of thing. Anyway, as you were.
So yeah, he narrated over quite a few of these where you have to do the alphabet, then do the alphabet backwards.
Which I think is hard too. I struggle to
put in your give it an old nose to the finger jab.
Okay.
Fingers to the nose.
Don't say bosh when you do it.
I'm going to let you.
Walk in a straight line. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
You put your hands out, close your eyes.
Yeah, the war concern is one.
nose.
The war concern is
And when
one.
you do it, you cheer.
Yeah. Okay. What's the standard one they always do?
Stand on one leg.
No, he refused to take all of these tests. The stand on one leg. Yeah.
Just have to walk along a white line.
Yeah. What's the obvious one?
Breathalyzer.
The breathalyzer. Refused to take that.
Why was he doing that?
And there was one more. There's one more. Listeners won't know what Cyrus did. Viewers on YouTube certainly will.
Listeners can guess what Cyrus did.
It was
I'm not sure you accept that kind of stuff in Chandler, Arizona.
I was going to say you have to perform a 3-point turn.
No. That's a good idea. He had trouble following the tip of a ballpoint pen without moving his head.
Try these.
I'd smash a 3-point turn.
There's going to be repercussions for this.
What are they?
Trouble. He'll get some suspension, but that'll be about it.
Meaning what?
Meaning nothing really.
Games.
Michael Bidwell, the president of the Arizona Cardinals, says there will be consequences. Extremely disappointed. It's inexcusable. He did bring it to our attention right away that night and has been extremely remorseful and contrite. He's taken steps to make things right. But the reality is that there is a process in place the league has, and there are going to be consequences here.
Just a fine, basically, isn't it?
He'll be suspended as well for a bit.
I mean, but if your GM's suspended,
Well, do your job,
this is Sam's favourite argument, isn't it? What does the GM do between drafts?
Yeah.
Well, the roster set, don't they? Like players come and go all the time on the roster. You won't be able to do that. Unless someone
if your GM
it
was missing for half a season, it wouldn't affect any of the teams in the league, would it?
I can't remember. Did it happen in Bounty Gate with Mickey Loomis? He had to get benched for a year, I think, or something like that, didn't he?
Loomis did. Peyton was gone for a year, wasn't he?
Yeah, Greg Williams. It all went wrong for you, didn't it?
Perhaps we'll talk more about Bounty Gate on an upcoming Inside the Pocket. There we go. There's a little teaser for you, listeners. If you've been following our new summer features. Staying in the courtroom, staying in the
legal
in the police cells.
Here we go. Anything on the field, can we?
Well, there's nothing really to do on the field, so it's all
well.
more and lack of order. Let's talk quickly about Aaron Jones. The Green Bay Packers running back was suspended the first 2 games of the 2018 season.
Just 2 games?
Just 2 games to violate the NFL policy and program for substances abuse. Jones pleaded no contest in February to a marijuana-related charge following a traffic stop in October 2017. And once again, we're going to...
So following a traffic stop, he just had it on him. He wasn't under the influence.
Has it on him?
Yeah, just had it on him.
Yeah, well, because I assumed he was under the influence, that's it.
Not necessarily, but he might have had it on him. But at some point, he's consumed said marijuana, isn't he? That's the issue.
Yeah. And we're gonna, we'll link this into the story that we broke a couple of weeks ago relating to Jameis Winston. You've got Aaron Jones there, possession of marijuana, getting a 2-game ban, and we find out since we broke the news about Winston's suspension.
We definitely broke it, by the way.
We broke it here.
Just because the pod went out a few days later, it's not our fault. We broke it big time.
2 games for Aaron Jones for getting caught with pot in your car, and Jameis Winston groping a taxi driver, lying about the whole thing, and it's a 3-game ban negotiated with the league.
Apparently so, yeah. So it came out that he's not going to appeal it because him and the commission came to this agreement that 3 games would be the ban. Which is, for someone who, well, how long ago did we say it was now? 18 months?
It would have been 2 weeks ago. Oh, the actual incident was back in 2016, wasn't
So,
it, I believe?
2 years ago, and he denied it point blank, completely said it, nothing of sort happened.
Yeah.
Then he said that his mate Ronald Darby, who went to Florida State with him, who seems to be
cornerback of the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's correct, yeah. It seems to be his go-to guy whenever he needs an alibi or something. He said, oh, he's in the taxi and it never happened.
Quick question about Derby, sorry, has he always been with the Eagles?
No, he got drafted by the Bills.
So he's not been at Redskins at all?
No.
No.
Right, so I might have said he was last time out.
That's okay. None of us noticed.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't name him, I just said his mate from Washington was there.
You know, you've just highlighted your own stupidity.
Not stupidity, ignorance.
Ignorance, the different thing. Fair enough. Yeah.
Sorry, carry on. So,
well, this Ronald Darby was a guy who also said he was in the apartment back at Florida State, back in Tallahassee, when Jameis Winston got accused of sexual assault. So,
and at the time was found not guilty.
Found not guilty, of course, yeah. So every time Jameis Winston gets a spot of bother, just so happens that Ronald Darby was there and he didn't do anything wrong at all. Well, that's what Ronald Darby said this time. It turns out Jameis did do something wrong, and it's questionable whether Ronald Darby was there at all anyway. So.
Derby.
Can we go back retrospectively and double check this sexual assault charge?
Well, let's turn it over to our legal correspondent, Sam Aykroyd.
Double jeopardy.
Are we on double jeopardy again, Sam?
Well, if he's been trying, I don't know what the legal state on that was.
Right. The Jameis Winston case, wasn't a civil trial, was it? It was.
No idea, mate.
No.
This podcast is.
There we go. We know our stuff here, don't we?
Well, no, you could theoretically go back to it, but especially in cases like that, they become so difficult to get proof they probably wouldn't do. Can Ronald Darby get any comeuppance from the NFL?
What, for lying? I think so. I should hope so.
You would think so, wouldn't you? Yeah.
He lied to him.
Mm-hmm. But they left it there probably, and Jameis Winston negotiated down three games. 3 games that he didn't want to play in anyway because he believes them. And the NFL probably took that as like, well, at least we don't have to go through the palaver we had to last year.
Appeals and
last year.
With, grievances and all that.
Yeah, they just go back on the Winston, the initial case in 2013. It was investigated by the police, but they concluded that there was no
evidence.
Basically, yeah.
That's because Darby lied to him. There you go. So we've got a proper shit list going on here today.
It's really happening, isn't it? Well, we're going to carry
wrapping
on.
up the old legal.
Well, let's talk about another deviant, shall we? Let's talk about the outgoing Carolina Panthers owner, Jerry Richardson, rather.
Yeah, Si, please.
Well, it's been made official, hasn't it? David Tepper's bought the Carolina Panthers this month. It was $2.275 billion he paid Jerry Richardson for it. Now, as you remember, Jerry Richardson's an 81-year-old bloke who put the Panthers up for sale because he was under investigation for workplace misgivings or, inappropriate behaviour, basically. Well, we don't know what happened because we never do, which is a real shame, but Richardson was fined $2.75 million, which is basically a fucking drop in the ocean compared to the $2.25 billion he's receiving for the team. But you tell me, Sam, he'll be remembered fondly forever, won't he?
It's outside whatever the name of the stadium is in Carolina.
Bank of America Stadium.
Bank of America Stadium.
The historic Bank of America
Stadium.
Yeah. I'm sure. But there's a big old statue of himself out there with a couple of panthers. I think it's quite
interesting.
It's quite the sight.
Under each arm.
No, I think they're sort of roaring ahead in front of him, like almost like somebody's attacked him.
Oh, okay, right. And he's sort of standing there bold. And
it's quite the vainglorious work of a dictator. Really.
Yes.
As
you would. I would definitely do that.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
Kind of, you'd see Putin sort of pictured with
Yeah,
That kind of
well,
thing, yeah.
I was going to say it's Saddam Hussein, that kind of vibe.
Yeah, okay.
I'm surprised it's not gold plated, otherwise it would be right up there with the best of them.
Yeah.
But part of the terms of contract, the sale is that's staying.
So there's no way of putting that down, you know, for ethical reasons.
Yeah. So yeah, despite the fact a lot of people that working there, let alone visiting it, might not want to look at him ever again. They don't have to.
But the good news is that when the Carolina Panthers move cities, that someone can go up and piss up it, you know, just in protest. So there you go.
Sure enough, that.
London Panthers.
Yeah, why not?
And that's it now. So we expect the Carolina Panthers to tick on.
Yeah, it's cleaned house. The person who was running it, what was she called? Oh, I can't remember who was. She stepped. It's Tina Becker. She's been there for 19 years. She took over, didn't she? As soon as it all came out and he put it up for sale, he stepped away. Tina Becker took over and ran it, and she's resigned her position, so he's done now. David Tepper is the man down there, and he's filthy rich.
Yeah.
Just managing hedges, which is
appropriate. The Bank of America Stadium. There we go. One last piece of news, I do believe, chaps.
This is way too much news for World Cup week.
Well, I know, but this is legal, Sam. But don't worry, I'm going to give you the segment off because I'm just going to read out the statements. Basically, the NFL Players Association have announced that they are going to file a grievance against the league's new national anthem policy. I'll read the statement in full. Our union filed its non-injury grievance today on behalf of all players challenging the NFL's recently imposed anthem policy. The union's claim is that this new policy imposed by the NFL's governing body without consultation with the NFLPA is inconsistent with the collective bargaining agreements and infringes on players' rights. In advance of our filing today, we propose to the NFL to begin confidential discussions with the NFLPA Executive Committee to find a solution to this issue instead of immediately proceeding with litigation. The NFL has agreed to proceed with those discussions and we look forward to starting them soon. And that's about it, really.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
We expected a backlash and one's on the way.
Yeah.
that's a long-winded way of saying this is going to be the thing we're talking about from now until the season starts.
Yeah.
There we
Quite
go.
possibly. This will be, yeah. Hopefully the first step in overturning that absolute nonsense fucking rule.
Dog shit, mate.
That would be nice. That would be nice. Right, there we go. There's your news, folks. It was quite a news-filled section, that wasn't it, for a mid-July pod?
Well, when everyone's going on vacation in America, aren't they? They're all trying to get all the dirty work in before everyone goes away, so everyone forgets about it. So all these suspensions, all these arrests, all this stuff. They're whacking it in as quick as possible. Yeah. And everyone will forget about it.
So what you're saying is
when England win the World Cup, basically.
That's it. So what you're saying is in 2 weeks, we're going to be absolutely desperate for news items.
Yeah, but we don't care because we'll all be drunk still after England win the World Cup. So.
Yeah, taking a month off.
Oh yes.
Have you? Yeah.
Well,
You're going to Russia?
Not officially, but I'll checked out fully from any kind of responsibilities.
If you're offered
oh yeah, because you have so many of those.
After my work, yeah.
If you offered a free flight to Moscow, would you take it?
I would. If I could get work off, I would definitely.
What, for Sunday? Or just generally?
Assuming England make it on Sunday, if you're offered a free flight, the rule was you had to stand in the middle of one of those fan parks.
No.
And you had to have like that naked fella climbing over you.
That's definitely not.
Beers thrown in your general direction.
No, I wouldn't
But
go.
you'd be there being all English
No.
with your flag.
No.
No?
No, I don't see the appeal of it.
Right, okay.
I'll watch it in Manchester down pub.
And just have the same experience.
Yeah, exactly. Very similar kind of vibe, but with, you know,
After the game, you know you're not going to get beat up.
proper replays and know what happens with VAR in each instant.
Not overpriced beer, depending on where you
I
drink.
don't know.
Of course.
I don't know what price are in Moscow.
I imagine the fan parks probably hiked the prices, haven't they?
Yeah,
They had any sense about them. Okay, here we go. This week's feature, it's back. It is back. It is the quarterback power rankings for 2018, as compiled by the three boys on the Collapsing Pocket podcast. Before we go into this, I really wanted to talk about how we approached it, because I think this is going to be controversial, I think, but I thought we should talk about what it was that we went on, because it's quite an open sort of, open conversation to have. Now, for me, lads, as I was going through it, I thought there's possibly 3 ways you could address this, 3 kind of avenues you could go down.
Right.
Firstly, you could go on just pure talent, outright talent, nothing else considered. Secondly, you can ask the question, if I was starting a franchise today, who would I pick as my franchise quarterback?
That's a good way of doing it.
That's an interesting way of doing it. That one very much takes into account age. What I went for in the end was, I think, the third way. You know, in many ways, Sam, the third way is often a compromise between the two, isn't it?
That's how it's generally defined. Yeah.
Yeah, when it's not being belittled for being sitting on the fence. I looked at the kind of current situation and expectations for who I think may well end up being the top 10 best performing quarterbacks in the 2018 season. So it's kind of a combination of talent and mainly situation right now. So there's players I've missed out of my top 10 that I think if I was going on pure talent, or if I was going on starting a franchise today, I think some of those players would have made it in the top 10.
I get it.
Quarterbacks in a shite team have struggled to get in.
Unless they're really good.
Interesting points, yeah.
Yeah, it's a mixture of
No,
everything.
I know. I
My
think
top 10
no,
is
no,
That's what you just said.
No.
or 11. Just a little spoiler alert there.
necessarily.
I've just gone up against the guys I thought I liked the best. So there you go.
Guys like the best. Sam,
Yeah,
anything
I
Bit of everything, really.
pulled up the stats, then just fined it a little bit.
Yeah, similar deal. I took all 32 quarterbacks, instantly discounted 17 of them. Like, you know, the Andy Daltons of this world.
Sure,
They went out of the
sure,
window.
they're going. Yeah,
Didn't
yeah,
mess
yeah.
around. Then I think I got rid of. I had a struggle. I got rid of James Winston because he's a cunt.
Yeah.
But also because his stats back to the fact that he didn't deserve
He's
to be
a
in
cunt,
there.
yeah.
And then I got rid of 3 other guys who just didn't make the cut. Maybe with an extra bit of body of work in terms of not just last year, but more than that. You know, like maybe 1 or 2 more years, they've definitely been in.
Yeah, but isn't this the thing though, Size, that what you're saying is, I mean, I'll give you the names that just missed out my top 10. The likes of Deshaun Watson, for example.
Yeah, he missed out.
Jimmy
on
Garoppolo missed out on me because we'd only seen a small sample size last season. It would have been a risk, for example, if I was going on pure talent.
Turns out I quite like taking risks.
That's fair enough. If I was going on pure talent and starting a franchise today, I think those two would possibly be near the top of my list. You know,
Could be up there, yeah.
They
Could
are,
be up
yeah.
there.
There we go. So that's how we did it. Let's start at number 10. Go on then, Sam. You
Are we going to do a review of last year?
No, I'll just see where. You roll them out, and I'll tell you where. How you
We'll just,
think you've
Sam-
improved or fallen away. Where
Si's going to chip in with who we are at number 10.
have you
last
got
year.
Eli Manning in this list, mate?
Eli Manning's not in this year.
Oh, is he not? Oh,
Sam, your number 10
Number
quarterback,
10, sorry.
2018.
Just not this. This was based on 2016 stats. Really, it's one Andrew Luck.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. Fair.
And that if he's been put back together, if he's been kept upright, all of that, then he's going to be a guy to watch this year. He finished that last season, 2016, very well. What on? Over 4,000 yards, 62% completion rate. He had 30 odd touchdowns in that year. There's no reason to think that he's not going to come back to exactly that kind of level.
I mean,
Well, I like the optimism. A year late. I just wondered why last year, after the 2016 season itself, you didn't pick him at all.
So he was definitely injured for all that season. And the season is probably not going to be injured.
He was definitely not injured for the whole of the season just gone. We all thought he might be back week 1.
No.
Yes. They were kept saying it all the way through the season. Andrew Luck was going to be. He should be back for week 1. Week 2. We're going to hold him out until Thanksgiving. Oh, it's no point
Well,
now.
aren't you mugs for believing?
Andrew Luck. Well, he's missed out on my top 10, but he would. I mean, let's be honest. On pure talent, you're looking at the top 3 quarterback in the league, Andrew Luck. You know, it's not a couple of years.
You're looking at top 10.
That.
Top 10.
Do you not think on pure talent,
Not
Andrew
top
Luck
3?
is
Not
top 3?
top 3. I think.
Do you not think his ceiling is?
Yeah, it
right
could
up
be,
there with
but
the best
he's
quarterback
not.
in the
I
league?
don't know if he's at his ceiling yet or not, but I think the top 3 is set in stone as far as I'm concerned.
That's interesting. I mean, I think for me, situation. I don't know if he's going to be playing week 1, Andrew Luck. I don't know what shape he's
I'm
in.
confident this year.
He was one of my 17 that didn't even get considered.
Didn't even get considered, really.
Did nothing last year. Don't know what the prospect is going forward.
But that's interesting because then you're completely dismissing the raw talent.
Not completely dismissing it. I just think that overrules it in this case because literally we're talking 18 months of injury now.
So
that is a phenomenal amount of time away from the game, isn't it? Really. Last year I put him at number 10.
That's why I missed
I put him number 10, but no. Do you want to know my number 10?
Go on.
I got 2 because I couldn't split him.
I'll tell you what. Well, should I give you?
Yeah, go on. You give me.
Should I give you my 1 and see if your 2 matches it?
Yeah, go on.
Um,
It's not going to.
all I'm going to say is it's easy to shirk at Captain Kirk, but study the stats, Sam Aykroyd.
Shall we?
Number 10 for me is Kirk Cousins, sneaking into my top 10. 3 consecutive seasons with over 4,000 yards.
Top 10, not top 16.
Without ever having the receiving options that most of the quarterbacks in this list have. Jordan Reed to Croc, Jamison Crowder to Al Pryor, Josh Doxson. He had a little bit of D-Jax, but he never had peak Eagles D-Jax. All the more remarkable last season with an obliterated offensive line.
Who's
my boy,
D-Jax?
isn't he? D-Jax, Deshaun Jackson.
Right.
There you go.
No, I completely agree. I've got Kirk Cousins at
No,
210 as well.
hey, have you?
Yeah, but why not? 27 touchdowns last year, 4,000 yards, like you say, 64.3% completion average, and the guy I paired him with, they're probably polar opposites, really. But Cousins is like the epitome of class in what can only be described as a shit show in Washington over the last 40 years, really.
Yep.
He's never been backed by the front office, has he?
No.
Yeah, he's produced consistently at a relatively high level.
Yeah, that's very fair.
And like you say, the talent around him's not there. No running game, which we didn't mention.
No running game at all.
I couldn't split him with my boy Philip Rivers. Now I went into this thinking I'm not going to be picking Philip Rivers in the top 10 here.
Bit worried about all the interceptions he throws.
Then I broke. Well, you say that. I broke that down, and he actually had a very good season. He threw for 1 more touchdown than Kirk Cousins. He threw for 3 interceptions less than Kirk Cousins, 500 more yards, and he had almost as good a completion rate. So, and obviously you know why I like him anyway. Only Brady had more yards than him this year, which is surprising.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
You wouldn't expect that, would you? But I love the guy. He's feisty, he's competitive. He's probably the complete opposite to Kirk Cousins, but I felt that I could not separate them stats wise from anything.
So when we said pick your top 10, Si decided to pick his top 11.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do?
And who did we have at 10 last year? Si, me and you.
Well, we all have Philip Rivers at number 9, so that's interesting.
Okay.
Sam had Kirk at 10, so he's not going anywhere as far as he's concerned. I don't think he didn't sneak into ours, didn't Kirk Cousins?
I didn't have Kirk in the top 10. Sam did last year. There you go. That's something.
His reason was he got bored by about number 6, and he
Nice.
says he was just throwing him in to please you.
I did struggle a bit again on that front list. Smashed that first 5. So after that.
There we go. You had Andrew Luck at 10 last year. I had Russell Wilson at 10. Well, he's taking a leap. Spoiler alert. Number 9.
Number 9 for me, old Smiler, Cam Newton. It felt like a bit of a backward step of the season. I don't know, just maybe for him or just the Panthers generally.
Fair.
And some of his stats don't really look all that impressive. 59.1 on completion rate, certainly.
That's not a pure passer.
That's his kryptonite.
But at the same time, he sort of, if he needs to get the ball down the field quick shot, you feel like he's, the man to do it. There's just no when he gets on a roll.
Yeah.
You're just on that roll with him, and everyone else is you just sort of get on that bandwagon with him, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, let me jump in here, Rob, because I agree with Sam. I've got Cam Newton as number 9 as well. Like you say, regress, because last year I had Cam Newton at number 4 last year, so this is significant regression. Because Cam Newton had the world at his feet last year and didn't really do much, despite obviously the Panthers still had double-digit wins, made the playoffs, but ultimately the team runs through him. He could be the most dangerous quarterback in the NFL, and. Yeah, stats wise not great, but also 750 yards rushing on the ground. Some running backs didn't make that, 8.7 yards per carry average. That's ridiculous, isn't it?
6 touchdowns with it.
He's still not protected enough. He's still hit too often. Obviously, that's he's injury prone as a result, and that's going to affect things, including his accuracy.
Yeah,
but
that feels like it's changing a bit on their.
He holds
their draft, doesn't it? There's a lot that are going to be protected.
They're trying, aren't they? They're trying the best. I think I didn't want to drop him out the top 10, and I think he has regressed significantly. But 9 is a good shout, Sam. I like it.
Thanks.
Going into the 2018 season, I believe he's going to be a top 10 performing quarterback. Number 9 for me, Matthew Stafford.
Joe, I Stafford out, and I kept thinking I wanted to put him in.
7 consecutive seasons of 4,200 yards plus, carrying up to a piss poor team.
He's got fuck all else to do.
8 and I wear, I'll have you know.
Rob's got the stats.
Oh yeah, you do a quiz on Sunday, then you nick it for a quiz on Wednesday.
Listen,
Sai, can you send that quiz over?
Listen, I might not be sticking marigolds and putting my hands in shit, but I'll have you know, I work hard in life. I represent that remark you just made.
You represent it?
I resent it. Threw that one in there for you.
Just to clarify, I don't mean Rob's got the stats. I mean Matt Stafford's got this.
Oh, do you? All right.
He's got very aggressive.
He does.
He's relentless, and I think we have this kind of vision, don't we? We go, oh, the Lions there, but the fact that you know they've been 8-8 or better, a couple of playoff appearances, Si, I think, in the last 5 years. And just what I was saying about current situation, I'm suddenly looking at what they've done on that O-line through the drafts, and this looks like one of the better offensive lines in the league.
Now Patricia's going to sort that right out,
You would think so, wouldn't you? And I'm finally wondering whether that's going to give the pure talent that is Matt Stafford. And do you know something else that you don't... I don't know whether we always associate this with Stafford. Tough as hell. Have you seen this video on YouTube that's out there? I don't know if you've seen it, Sam. You're nodding inside. It's one of the final plays in the game, and he goes down, and it's like he's dislocated his shoulder, and he's screaming in agony. But he gets up, rushes the team down to the line of scrimmage, spikes it, gets up, team wins the game.
That's right.
Phenomenal.
You won't find me disagreeing.
Yeah,
I just don't know why you sold him so short and put him at 9.
Okay, interesting. There we go. Matt Stafford, number 9.
Bad man, not put him in there.
That's okay, but this is what it is.
I think that dislocated shoulder story is really swearing.
It's all about opinion, yeah.
Alright, well, Sam, come on, it is number 8, mate.
Number 8 then, this is just looking at the list there, oddly no one had him in the top 10.
No, not last year.
No, not Staff, I think now.
Oh, okay.
Also true. Yeah, no, very strange that neither of us picked him up last time, but number 8 for me, Jared Goff.
It's not very straight, is it?
This is such an interesting one, Goff.
But
he's another one who's got the stats from just last year.
He was just outside my 10 as well.
Yeah, 28 touchdowns at 62% completion, 62.1. 3,800 yards, he had a rushing touchdown as well. He only threw 7 interceptions in 15 games. I just think perhaps part of this ranking belongs to his new coach, doesn't it?
One of the main reasons why he just missed out for me too.
Yeah,
just
same.
It's 1 year's body of work, and how much of it is down to Sean.
Because isn't there still there and presumably going to work that offense even though?
Presumably, yeah, of course. Like that. I mean, how much of Drew Brees' success should be putting on Sean Payton?
But here we're asking an interesting question, aren't we? Because now we're talking about it's the old Formula 1 argument, driver or car, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
we're
exactly
talking about, are we looking at the individual talent, the quarterback, or are we looking at the coach? Because I believe Sean McVay is in his ear right up until the snap, pretty much, isn't it?
That's what happens in most.
Yeah,
but it's only
he was probably babysat. He babysat him for that year.
Second year.
Yeah, of course.
NFL quarterback.
The only difference we see here is that Sam's willing to suggest that 1 year's enough for evidence, whereas maybe not so much. But it's only, we're talking minors. Like we said in last year's pod, like all these guys are elite. If you're in the top 10 or thereabouts, then we're talking very good quarterbacks. Putting somebody 10th is not an insult at all.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Number 8.
Did you guys pick him in? Have you in your list?
He didn't make our list, no. So.
Just outside my top 10.
I had Big Ben at 8, so drop back 1. Still performing, isn't he? Still doing the business. Take away that appalling 5-pick game against the Jags, and his stats are phenomenal. Like I'm talking 28 touchdowns, 9 picks in 15 games. If you forget that one, a completely awful game. You know, obviously he's got the surrounding cast. We know how good would he be is a question really in a different offense. But you know, he's been there a long time and he's seen a lot of bad offenses. To be fair, just one more year on the clock, maybe some new kids jumping above him. I don't really want to say much more about Ben. Everyone knows what he's about.
I'm not going to argue with you at all, so I've got Big Ben at number 8 as well.
Nice.
I'd still take the guy who threw that pass to Santonio Holmes in the dying seconds of a Super Bowl. I just think that showed bottle, steel, pardon the pun. And just look at those weapons around him. Yeah, I've not much to add. Big Ben. Don't particularly like the fella.
Dumped him,
but yeah, I'd get him in there. He's a fighter.
He's not in your top 10?
He's not in your top 10, interesting.
Bored of him.
Bored of him. Done with Big Ben.
Well, fair enough then.
I wonder, do you think we're going to see a bit of fire in his belly this year with you know the challenging inverted commas, you know, of Mason Rudolph in the wings? There's been a little bit in the off season, they didn't get off to the best of starts.
Well, if there is, it's about time maybe someone put a little fire underneath him, isn't it? You know, if he has anything else to give, he should be giving it already.
Yeah, fair. That's the Steelers team's got to do better, haven't they? They've got to reach a Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, the thing is, to do better is winning the thing now.
Well, making a Super Bowl would be something, you know.
Well, they got to the playoffs last year, and that was it, wasn't it?
The playoff team got smashed by the Patriots in the championship game a couple of years ago. That was about it, really, wasn't it? There we go.
Sam.
Well, we shall see.
Numero 7.
No, so I'm regretting this now. I've done it, but I know you said about
I'm
me.
regretting it.
Go on.
I know you said about me putting Kirk Cousins in last year, number 10, just to appease this guy.
Go on.
I'm buying into the hype, and I know I shouldn't. But it's old Jimmy G.
Jimmy G!
7.
I love this. You just have a moment here. I have been ripped mercilessly for about a year until he came to us for 6 games to prove anything. Sam's 7th
I know,
best
yeah.
quarterback
And just like
in
last year when
2018.
Sam was the only person to put Kirk Cousins in his top 10, despite
Yeah.
moaning about him for the 12 months prior, he's done the same thing again this time with Jimmy G.
Treat him mean, keep him clean.
In their 6 games, there were 5 interceptions. And only
The stats are massive.
And only 7 touchdowns, but I think Rob's enthusiasm for him rubbed off, and I had a bit.
Bless you.
I feel like I should probably take him out for Big Ben thinking about it now.
Well, it looks like a winning, doesn't he? Well, he looks like a winner though, that's the thing.
He's a winner. Absolutely, yeah.
So we'll see. But just on the basis of this year going forward, Jimmy, sod it. And again, I think he's in that team that I just feel like they're going to be a big threat this year.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Well, you hope so. Certainly 500 or above, you'd hope if you were
certainly
a
hope so.
49ers fan.
The only reason he didn't make my top 10 was because I'd given myself this rule about the situation right now. We have ultimately only seen 6 games for the Niners at the end of the
So you're
season.
winning the Super Bowl this year?
Well, you know, there's the
Well,
fan in
no,
me being
yeah.
optimistic, and then there's the analyst in me, you know, trying to, sort of get the wheat from the chaff.
Well,
And that's the only reason he missed mine, 'cause I thought I probably can't justify a 6-game body of work to put him in the top 10.
Well, he missed mine because if I can't put Jared Goff in, on
Yeah.
the bloody work he did last year, then I can't put Jimmy G in.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, I would have done it if there weren't 10 or 11 people above him, but they weren't.
Yeah.
There was, you know what I mean? I put Matthew Stafford here.
Okay, yeah,
Everything you've added, everything
Yeah.
you've said makes complete sense. The one caveat, I like saying a caveat for
Go
each
on.
of the quarterbacks. Can you truly call Matthew Stafford a winner? Outside of 2016 where they won an inordinate amount of games, is he a winner?
But is that enough? Because there were so
not enough to
many
He's
come
not-
from behind victories that season to
Yeah.
prove that he is. Do you know
Yeah,
how
I
often
think
do you
he
have to
is,
do
anyway.
it?
I was just wondering if it's a
Yeah.
statistical anomaly, is all I'm
But
saying.
season long,
A bit like
unusual, isn't
a bit like last year.
Yeah.
When Derek Carr won an inordinate amount of games.
Yeah.
And fell off, and we all ignored that. I'm just wondering if it's a similar thing here.
Well,
but
It's not dissuading me enough to leave.
Sure,
the top
sure,
10.
I can't say he's not a winner in the way that, 'cause being a winner is doing that attitude, doing everything you can.
And dragging your team through
which
things.
is what he does.
He has done, yeah, but has he done it for more than one season? That's my
He
point.
dragged that team so much.
It's weird how it was all in one year, if you know what I mean. Funnily enough, when Jim Bob Cooter, his defensive coordinator, first came in, I'm just wondering. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I'm
We're
just
saying
saying.
he's great. He's number 7 on your list, of course. But go on.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
what
that's
you
the
said.
right
Everything else,
answer.
mate.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
was wondering. I put a little note here purely because I had a bit of space left on this page, but 2 quarterbacks that fell out of my top 10 from last year. Derek Carr was 5th. He's nowhere near.
Yeah, same. I had Derek Carr at 4.
And
he's dropped out.
Andrew Luck at 10 for me. He's fallen out. What about you guys? Have you got anyone else there that fell out? Did Sam Bradford make it for you this year, Sam?
Sam Bradford fell out, Derek Carr fell out,
Did Eli fall out?
Eli fell out,
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins fell out.
So you had 4
I
drop
had
out.
4. Who dropped out of mine? Derek Carr. I had Derek Carr at 4 last year. He's dropped out. I had Matt Ryan at 5. He's dropped out.
Hasn't he?
I like Matty Ice.
We'll get
I
to
don't know.
that.
I don't know.
We'll get to
Yeah, I
that.
just don't know which quarterback he is. Number 7, Andrew Luck's dropped out for me. Situational. Matt Ryan. Maybe I've overlooked that one a little bit. Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look.
Well, let's talk about number 6.
Oh
then.
no! I'm quite happy to. I know I replaced Matty Ryan with, and I know you haven't got him in there, and I have. We'll come to that in a second.
Have we had your 7?
No, my 7. I put Cam at 7. I actually had him at 8 last year, not Cam at 1. I think this is one whereby I allow just the raw talent measure to sort of tip the scales somewhat in my measurement.
His potential rather than his past, maybe.
And
He's
just
got an extra place just for his hats.
yeah.
Step up.
And I think that offense is shape. He's got Greg Olson back this year. He's got DJ Moore, which is, remember that year, was it 2015, and he had Ted Ginn going long for him, and
taking the top
boosted
off.
his stats. They got to the Super Bowl that year. I think you may have found that again in DJ Moore. Olson back in the lineup. McCaffrey emerging from the backfield. CJ Anderson, solid kind of bulldozer in place now. I just wonder whether that's going to elevate Cam's stats. And as I say, I was looking at the situation moving forward this year. I guess the question size is going to be the loss of Norwell.
And you know, well, on the line he went to the Jaguars. We'll see.
We'll see.
These linemen, they have a funny way of replacing with people who haven't worked elsewhere and seem to do okay.
Yeah.
So,
it's just one of the things with Cam, isn't it? You just look at him and you go, yeah, that's what I want my quarterback to look like.
I did enjoy looking back at mine because I wrote mine on purpose before I listened back and found out who I got, and I wanted to know where people will land up and top talent, things like that, and the changes and stuff like that.
You hasn't got four, as you say. I mean, he's a knobhead. I don't have any time for him, but I appreciate the talents.
I quite like him. So my number 6 then.
Yeah.
Having just mentioned him previously there. Oh, Matty Ice, Matt Ryan, number 6.
Yeah.
Had, in what was a transitional year with Steve Sarkisian taking over, 64.7 completion, 4,000 yards, just over 4,000 yards, 20 touchdowns. You just feel like, and he was still finishing strongly as well. And you just think another year to do with that offensive coordinator, with everything in place. Falcons are dangerous this year, and he's going to be leading the charge.
Again, nailed it, Sam. I would completely agree. 6, Matt Ryan for the Falcons. I think it was unduly harsh on him last year, putting him at 8. I kept saying, repeating over and over again on the podcast, that he had a ceiling, and I thought he'd hit it with Sarkisian, and I think that's true, but I don't think it was 8. I think I should have had him higher.
There's a bit of a question last year as well, which isn't really there now, about his about like clutch play and stuff.
Precisely, yeah, leadership and things like that. I think he deserves a lot of credit for keeping the Falcons extremely competitive in what can only be described as a bastard of a division. Double-digit wins, took the Super Bowl champs the closest to defeat in their own back garden, and again, like we said last year, the ultimate franchise quarterback. You never have any issues with Matt Ryan. You know he's turning up week in, week out. No legal issues, no professional issues, none of that. I expect big things from the Falcons this year, I really do. And
interesting, yeah. I've just completely overlooked him, and I can't argue with either of your points there.
Right, mate. Sometimes you've got to write down the 10-year line.
It's a good thing sometimes.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, you look at your 10, you say you're taking out now. You think about it. Is there anyone?
I couldn't argue with it. I like Matty Ice.
So did you whack at 6 then, mate?
I had to Philip Rivers in 6, mate.
Yeah.
Honestly, okay, this might be a bit controversial. I understand
look
that.
At Sam.
But remember, what did I say? I said, look at the situation. That's what I'm taking. Rivers has always had.
Just explain the situation in Atlanta.
It's a fair one. I'm not sure I necessarily 100% agree with it, to be honest. But hey, I'm not sure about Sarkisian. There we go. Rivers has always had the ability, just never been able to keep that surrounding talent on the field. We've seen him perform well in playoff games in the past with limited resources. We've seen him go head to head with Peyton Manning in the playoffs.
He'll go head to head with anybody.
He'll go head to head with anyone. But what do we keep saying year after year after year? What is it with the Chargers? They can't keep players on the field, and yet he's still put numbers up. He's still. I mean, they haven't been. They haven't. How should I put it? They've had losing records in quite a few of the last few years. But look at some of those seasons. I think there was one season they were losing games by 3 points, 5 points. He was dragging the likes of Dontrell Inman as his number 1 receiver right the way through. I also rank entertainment factor quite highly in this, and Rivers is possibly the last remaining sort of good old-fashioned Brett Favre gunslinger.
And sideline
knobhead. I think the talent's there, and I think you've got Keenan Allen fit now, which we saw last season.
What you're saying is, mate, he's coming home, isn't it? That's what you're saying.
Listen. I've just got.
We'll just see our training camp tweet you boys. Your ACL.
Yeah. It's all fair. But I've just got some faith in that Chargers team this season, and I think Rivers may finally have the surrounding talent to make him shine the way he should. No, fair.
I like that. 6.
I've just, yeah.
Phil,
he's a bit of an old favourite of mine. He's been a fantasy favourite for a couple of years now for me. He's one of them. Sometimes it's
great for a meme as well.
Yeah. People. I can understand people may well disagree with that, but don't be surprised if Phil Rivers is easily a top 10. Performing quarterback in 2018.
Well, he's top 5.
Wouldn't be surprised
QB though, mate. Sam, who have you got in the top 5?
Number 5. Your situational thing might be an issue.
Go on.
Russell Wilson.
No, I can't argue with that.
Who had the field in touchdowns last year, 34 of them. Just throwing. He had 3 on the ground as well for himself. There's 61.3% completion rate, with no offensive line whatsoever, no running back to hand off on really. You know, it's actually quite a remarkable season he put together last year.
It was
on his own
incredible.
terms.
Yeah.
So I gave it 5, but again, I think he's going to have to do the same again to keep those Seahawks relevant, isn't he?
Last year I had Russell. This is the one that I was quite proud of my pick, because last year I had Russell Wilson higher than you guys. Purely based on the fact that he wins despite the rest of his team, which I think is phenomenal.
And he really shot.
And it's the same thing again. And I'm feeling a bit nauseous now because that's 3 out of 6
not got the same
picks.
Yeah.
That we've got the same people. I've got Russell Wilson.
We've not got the same top 3. I'm going to guarantee it for you.
Have you got Russell Wilson at?
Right, I'm
five
going to put
as
this claim out here. I reckon that Sam has picked either Mohamed Sanu or Trey Burton as his top quarterback, just for the stats on complete passing completion.
I can't wait for this. Here we go.
But no, yeah, Russell Wilson 5th for me.
You got him as well?
I've got no. Have you got him as 5th as well?
No.
Oh,
You got
shame,
top
but-
5 then?
But yeah, exactly what you said, Sam. Great reason to me. Here you got a 5 then, well.
It's funny, isn't it? The situational thing at this point started to go. I just started to go. I love those top 5 quarterbacks. Carson Wentz.
I wondered when he was coming in because he's
Carson Wentz, I think, is the quarterback of the next 10 years in the NFL, leading one of the most dynamic offenses we've ever seen. Not to mention he's North Dakota tough. Does his ACL and then steps out and throws a touchdown pass and then goes out the game. Yeah, maybe I've gotten carried away, and I don't care. I think Carson Wentz is that damn good.
If you got carried away, I got carried away because I got number 4.
Oh yeah, good man, good man.
I think his stats don't really shine that great at all. His
It's just something.
line isn't great.
I
He's
know.
only at 6% completion.
Yeah.
He was second actually for touchdowns, 33 touchdowns he threw last season.
Yeah.
But short of that ACL, he'd have a Super Bowl in his finger.
Absolutely, in his sophomore year.
I think he had a great season. He didn't make my top 10 purely because of the bodywork thing again. If Jared Goff ain't making it and Carson Wentz ain't making it because they both had excellent
Do you
seasons,
not think that
and
there's
Carson
much
Wentz had a
more?
small one.
Do you not think
I have more
there's a clear
confi-
difference? More, as in Wentz was clearly a better quarterback. Goff becoming a product of a system.
I think on-field play the results are the same, but I agree. I'd have more confidence in Wentz doing it.
On a cold Tuesday night and stuff.
That kind of thing. And say like situations change, his coaches change.
Yeah.
I believe in Carson Wentz.
And you won't put a lot.
But-
you won't put a big bet against him getting a Super Bowl in his
Oh,
finger.
definitely not. Definitely not. And just like Woody had his kind of structure.
Just little- yeah,
I thought
we all do it
I
different
couldn't
ways.
put him in just because the 11 in my case quarterbacks I did put in had a good enough season to make me think, well, Wentz didn't have a full season and it's only his first proper season.
Yeah.
So,
That's
yeah,
fair.
I didn't have him in. Sorry, but that's fine. It's nice. Now I'm getting quite excited about
interesting.
this.
Yeah.
Number 4, Sam.
Number 4. No, that
You said who
he had
had 4. You
4.
got 4.
Oh. Well, I'm interested in what you got because I think me and you might have the same top 3, and I can't quite work out who you got at 4 just based on what I'm seeing on these lists. But my 4th best quarterback is someone. He's the highest jumped player in my top 32. He was unranked last year, and that's Alex Smith.
Wow.
Yeah, it's stupid, isn't it?
Wow.
That's not stupid at all. He had 5 interceptions all season last year.
That's
Yeah, it's
phenomenal.
130 very far.
4,000 yards. There was no 5,000 club this year.
Okay.
He was 4,000 yards, 67.5% accuracy. That's second.
It's just Sam Bradford kind of level.
We know he had a slow start to his NFL career, but he has grown and grown. He's no longer Dink and Dunk.
No.
That's changed.
No.
He's the master of his craft, and alongside Matt Stafford, possibly the most undervalued quarterback in the league.
Wow.
I have
Wow.
I have only one question on Alex Smith now, and that is, can he do it in the playoffs? That's the only thing I can wonder about with Alex Smith. Nothing else. I know he will do it for 16 games. I know he will. And Washington Redskins, yeah, I like Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins probably got more longevity than Alex Smith. Makes me question the deal that they did.
Okay.
But, and obviously Alex Smith is moving from a situation, he had a good situation in Kansas City, he's probably not as good in Washington. But the guy can change things. He's got a running game in Washington now with Darius Geis and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm quite
Chris
excited
Thompson.
to see what Alex Smith can do in Washington. we were bang wrong about him last year.
We were.
And he tore it apart.
We were. Does he have the players of the calibre of Kareem Hunt, and we know what Tyreek Hill can do on those long downfield runs to pad the stats? Does he have that in Washington?
I don't know if he has it in Washington, but I'm pretty confident that he has. Right now, right this minute, if I could take the skill set of Alex Smith or Kirk Cousins, I'd take Alex Smith.
Okay.
I think Alex Smith is a better quarterback right now.
Okay.
I don't think you pay Alex Smith whatever the Vikings pay Cousins fully guaranteed for the next 5 years, because in 5 years' time Alex Smith won't be at that level. So yeah, I think the Redskins can expect improvement, especially with that very good offensive line, which will give him time to throw the ball, and that running game. I think it's going to be fantastic.
That's really interesting, I think. Number 4, I had Russell Wilson.
That's what I missed.
Yeah. He, I just think what he continues to do behind that offensive line, as you said, Sam, last season was phenomenal. I had him down at 10 last year, and I never doubted he was a winner. He had the talent.
You just remember he played for the Seahawks.
I just remember he played for the Seahawks, and I seem to remember.
You're just a bit down in, weren't you?
I don't think his 2016 season was great, and I don't think it was all the offensive line's fault. I think he made some poor decisions from why I had him down there. But what I saw last season from him, I just had the utmost respect for him. It helps that he was the Merseyside Dockers winning quarterback all season. That does help. But almost respect for Russell Wilson, despite being a shite.
We love him. We absolutely love him.
Number top 3. Well,
here we go.
We've got the
three.
same.
Top 3.
Okay.
Don't know where you've got this guy in it. The GOAT. Although he did only play 7 games last year, still putting together 16 touchdowns, 1700 yards nearly, 64.7 completion rate. Green Bay's very own Aaron Rodgers, number 3.
Interesting.
I think
Interesting. Yeah, number 3.
I'm just wondering how you managed to read my notes, mate, because I've got Aaron Rodgers at number 3.
You've not? Really?
Of course I have. Yeah. This isn't so much a regression on Rodgers' part. I think it's just injury clearly meant he couldn't keep up with the Joneses, aka Breeze and Brady. I think that's pretty much simply it. We all saw the travesty what the Packers is without him. We know what he's like. We know he slides out. He's clutch in the big moments. He's pretty much indispensable to the Packers. They can't without him. No one can throw a football like him. But there's one question mark. Should Green Bay have more rings or even Super Bowl appearances, let alone in the?
Are you putting that on Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know. I don't
really.
Well, I mean, obviously we can put it on coaches and things like that. I'm not saying that's the only look. I don't think it's him moving backwards. I think it's 2 guys that move forwards, and I think these 3 are almost equal. These top 3, I really do. The way I pegged them.
carry on.
This is so interesting.
I can't believe we've done this exercise twice now, and twice you've not put Tom Brady in the top 10.
Here we go.
You're an absolute nightmare.
Who's your number 3 now? Well, we move on to.
Listen, we worship at the church.
You scumbag, number 1.
Drew Brees, number 3 for me. I don't think. I mean, it's not too dissimilar to what I had last year, really. Brees at 3. What do I need to say about Drew Brees? I don't think I need to say anything, do I?
Give you a couple of stats last year.
All I'll say is I can see why you guys are going. Let's manoeuvre Rodgers down because of last season. The reason I wouldn't manoeuvre Brees up any further than number 3 would be that if you're going on last season, it was predominantly the running game that did damage for New Orleans, and that defense has stepped up. And
he got 2 winning touchdowns last year.
He may well do. I suspect the stats may be down again a bit this year because the defense and running game is that strong. But that's a stat-based thing in terms of the ability of the
quarterback. Still 23 touchdowns through last year despite that run game. He had a 72% completion rate, by the way.
Oh, the completion rate. When he goes to pass it,
better than anybody else.
When he goes to pass it, beyond doubt, it's a successful pass.
And he had 4,334 yards, which was what, the 3rd highest in the league? So?
4th he was.
4th.
How many of them were?
This is a down year.
Okay, I was thinking how many of them were with Alvin Kamara.
And only 8. Well, of course, yeah, but how many of
it's still a throw.
Brady's 2 years ago went to Deion Lewis and things like that? This is the way stats work.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're splitting hairs, aren't we?
Of course we are.
I'm literally just saying, But the thing is, I view Breeze as the top 3 reasons to celebrate, whereas Sam views it at number 3 as something
Well, we know where he's going number 1, so let me decide. Let me say where I got number 2. I got Drew Brees, purely for those things, you know. And he's 39 years old, and we all know I'm going for number 1, and he's got great stats too at the age of 40. But you know, this is ridiculous, isn't it? It's absolutely ridiculous. Like you say, more 5,000 yard seasons on his own compared to if you add everybody else up in the league. And he wasn't far off again this year on a down year when he had the best running back in the league. So Drew Brees made number 2 for me. How about you, Sam? Who made number 2?
My number 2. He got 4 less touchdowns than Drew Brees.
He threw 4 less touchdowns than Drew Brees.
I know he's going for. I know he's going for as well. And this is a ridiculous notion.
And did he do it in about 10 less games?
He had 7 games, 1,700 yards.
And how many interceptions did he have, Sam?
Jesus Christ.
I've got that stat.
No, I bet you haven't got that stat.
It's only because he beat the Bama.
On top of all that, he beat the Bama quite
easily.
Spectacular, it wasn't easily.
There you go.
He had to really fight for it. Yeah, Deshaun Watson, number 2.
Deshaun Watson.
This is the new superstar of the NFL, guys.
I
deal with it.
couldn't argue with that.
I can argue with him being second best quarterback in the NFL.
I wouldn't have him in there for
skips right up
situation, but yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he was the big superstar of the NFL.
And then I can be right swing about it at the end of the year.
I'm looking forward to watching him play.
I'd say if he keeps fit for the full season, it'd be great.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Did you get a 2?
I had Tom Brady at 2.
Did you?
I did have Tom Brady at 2.
So we've all got different number 1s then.
And I don't think there's any way on earth you can dispute Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the NFL. I'm going to throw it down there as my number 1.
I'll dispute it right now if you like. Tom Brady, I've got number 1. You know, why wouldn't you? 8 Super Bowls, 5 wins. He dragged his team there again this year. He was lights out in the Super Bowl again
this year.
He had the most yards in the league, second highest completion percentage in the league, the most touchdowns in the league, the best touchdown to interception ratio outside of Alex Smith. This guy is lights out every year. He doesn't matter. Like this year, who did he have in wide receiver? He'll have a different team every year. And I agree, Aaron Rodgers sometimes doesn't have a good team, but sometimes he has Jordan Nelson, Randall Cobb in the peak, and Devontae Adams coming up. You know.
Rob Gronkowski,
brilliant. Julian Edelman, where was he last year? Where was Julian Edelman last year?
Fair comment.
And a running game that, they spread the load out, and they take a lot of the ball now. They run a lot of the ball last year. Yeah, still Brady's making.
Watch his face downfield.
I don't like putting Brady top.
No,
you know me. I don't like. I didn't want to put him top.
Yeah.
I had no choice to put him top this year.
You have to tell me who's the wide receiver they got from New Orleans?
Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks. There you go.
Thank you.
Had a 1,000-yard season.
Yeah.
But is that because he's good, or is it because Tom Brady's running? Because he never had a 1,000-yard season in New Orleans.
Or because Bill Belichick's scheme needs to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, it's not Belichick, mate. Brady's garbage.
I have seen Aaron Rodgers throw passes through the tightest of spaces. Those keyhole passes, and with the finest of margins, I've just seen Rodgers throw passes that I don't know that Brady can throw anymore.
That could be.
That's possibly controversial.
I haven't seen Rodgers throw one of those passes for a long time.
I saw him throw one in the game before he went out last season in Dallas.
And I also think that Drew Brees can make
that one. The game before that, he was getting pulled in a massive face mask, wasn't he? He's done.
That was that one as well. Yeah. Yeah.
And he seems quite a nice guy, doesn't he?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
And he doesn't. We don't think he votes Trump.
Tom Brady seems.
Whereas I did not take that into account.
You see, the Trump factor should always be taken into account, side.
Especially when I did Jameis the way I did.
Aaron Rodgers voting Trump. Where's he from? It's California. Is he
California kid.
Nah.
I won't bet against that.
Trump down in California.
Mate, you just take one look at that handlebar mustache and thinking Bible Belt.
Just anyone in the NFL won't bank against it, really.
Who did you have at number 1, Sam?
I thought I established it was Drew Brees. I can't think it's been.
Brees, Brady and Rodgers, we mixed them up as our number 1s.
How can you always call Aaron Rodgers the GOAT, but he's not the best? I don't understand the difference. Explain to me.
It's
complicated.
It's complicated. Yeah. Like my love life.
It'd be another pod on its own. That's explain quite how you disentangle those two states of being.
Well, I look forward to listening to it. Just send it us over on WhatsApp.
It's a bit like, are you aware of the Holy Trinity in Christian
Yes.
history. Yeah. And that was obviously
You're right. This is definitely for another podcast.
God, the Father, Jesus the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
They're three and one all at the same time. It's
So
a
we're
very
saying
complex.
Brady,
Yeah.
Breeze, and Rogers
It's a
are
very
three and
complex
one at the same
theological
time.
argument.
Or-
Well, Brady's.
Or in the eyes of Evertonians, Sam, it's Kendall, Harvey, and Bull. There we go.
Alan Ball,
Kelly Allen Bull. Right.
I thought it was
Tommy Ball.
I thought it was Osborne
Yeah,
Hibbert and
Tommy
Cadamatari. That's what I
Tommy Ball,
thought.
Cannon Ball.
Oh, Cannon and Ball, sorry, yeah. Right, well, it's a great debate. I enjoyed having it with you lads. And debate away with us on Twitter. I'm sure you'll massively disagree with everything we've said.
Who've
Get
you
involved
missed?
at Pocket Crumble.
We've not missed anyone, have we?
No, you
Is
missed
there any?
that.
Yeah, is
You
there
missed
any name? Let's say that we haven't even discussed.
Marcus Mariota
Mariota
and James Winston?
yeah, there's still the two, aren't
the
they?
forever interlinked
Yeah.
quarterbacks, but neither had a good season
Ryan
last year.
Tannehill.
Mariota's
Right.
stats,
Just chuck his name in there as well.
well, because he didn't do anything last year.
Mitch Trubisky.
Well, one's coming up. If you're looking at one's coming up, yeah.
Mitch
yeah,
Trubisky
interesting.
maybe in a few.
Paddy Mahomes.
One of these,
Paddy Mahomes.
one of these rookies is going to have a good season. Couldn't tell you which one.
I'm not sure any of them are actually.
I think one of them definitely.
Go on. If you had to put a fan.
Well, I think I'm going to temper it by who I think it's going to help that it'll get in there early.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Sam Darnold for the Jets because I think Josh McCown is a little bit, he's quite brittle, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'd like to see.
Teddy's.
Oh, so
carrying
I
a
think
lot.
Teddy's going to be third
I
choice.
was so tempted to put Josh McCown really high up because his completion rate was very good last year.
He was great last year for a bit, Josh McCown.
Wouldn't surprise me one of the 17 calls without even thought.
Oh, like, who would you say, Sam? He's got Donald's.
I still just for the X Factors, they bake it.
I love it. I love it.
Go on, then I'll go Josh Rose, just to be
I
interesting.
think that's interesting too.
Really
Sam
interesting.
Bradford's very good run as
I
well.
think most of them are going to be second season.
Yeah. Good stuff. Get involved, folks.
Cheers, boys.
And get yourselves. I'm sporting right now. I'll just show our YouTube viewers. I'm sporting one of these fine Pocket Crumble T-shirts. Get the camera right.
As me and Sam would be,
Yeah.
if you put these orders in like we have.
There you go. Well, I have done. There's just been a delay.
The delay is you picking up the phone
in
saying,
payments. Yeah. But there we go. Get involved. Royal Flush Designs. I've got a T-shirt here, custom made by Royal Flush.
Here we got on there, we got obviously Cap in it.
Demonstrating the anthem protest.
Who's that 23 there for Baltimore?
I couldn't quite work out who that was. That's the big fella. Is it Fisher? The number one pick for the Chiefs. Shane Ray, I think that is.
No, that's not Shane
Not
Ray.
Shane Ray.
No, that's Marshall, Brandon Marshall.
Brandon Marshall for the Broncos. There you go.
That's Jay Fisher getting involved.
Oh yeah. Oh, Johnny knocked it all up himself. But yeah, if you want to get yourselves custom-made T-shirts, he's making some new caps recently, hoodies. Not that you want them in this weather, Sam, but get yourself ready for the winter.
Was it hot?
Winter's
Get
never
involved.
coming. It's summer forever now, guys. Deal with it.
Royal Flush Designs, and of course, because you are a Collapsing Pocket listener, using the discount code Pocket10. And what is it, Sam? It is
POCKET, and then your number 1 and your number 0.
get yourself 10% off any goods from Royal Flush Designs. That is it for us, folks. Thank you very much for listening. Come on, England! Apologies to any non-English listeners that we may or may not have. We don't know, do we? Except for the Raiders fans who came after you once.
They're not listening. They were just looking for anyone moaning on Twitter at that point about the draft.
And they found Simon. What a surprise! There you go. Sam Aykroyd, pleasure.
Yeah, that's been here. See you guys.
Simon Carroll is over here. He's
Good night,
saying,
guys.
and I'm going to say, take it easy, folks, and we'll speak to you very, very soon. This pocket has well and truly collapsed in the baking sun. Ta-da!
Definitely did it.
Nice. Good. I like list ones. I like rankings. pods.
You nerd.
I do. I like good rankings. Pod. Oh shit! What's that?
Time is it?
20 past 11.
That's nothing. Pub's still open.
Yeah.
You buy me a beer?
Up at 7 this morning. Up at 7 tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I'm not here outside, sorry.
Ugh. Fine, I'll go home, eat some food.
Yeah, let's do it. Is pub open, did you say, still?
Yeah.
Nice. I'll see yous when I see yous, I guess.
Yeah, not tomorrow. I can't. Well, you can come down and watch it here.
Possibly next week. Maybe tomorrow night. Possibly next week.
Yeah, I'll tap tomorrow.
He's down at Taps.
Yeah.
With Rob Lant.
No worries. Take it easy.
No one's turning this off, so everyone's listening to that. That's interesting.
Well, I have to edit it.
Press the wrong button.